Let me ask you something very strange. Your IP, for example, showing 192.168.0.203. Okay. How does your laptop know which devices are nearby your IP? How does your laptop decides this packet we can directly send, this packet must goes to router? How does your browser decides that or your laptop decides that? And what is this mysterious number of 255.255.255.0 that controls everything silently? So all these things, all these concepts, all this mystery will be revealed if we understand what is subnet mask. So in the today's session, we will try to understand exactly that what is subnet mask. A subnet mask tells which part of IP address is in the network and which part is the host. Subnet mask tells actually which part of our IP address, correct? We will have IP address in this form. So which part of IP address is a network, which part of the IP address is a host. This important information is given by subnet mask. So without subnet mask, routers cannot route. Routers cannot route. Devices cannot know who is local. Okay, devices will stop working communication, right? And ultimately the internet communication will fail without subnet mask. So that's how important is your subnet mask. Now why subnet mask exist? So let us try to understand it with the help of real life analogy. So think of a postal address. We will have a postal address. So consider a postal address. So usually the address will be something like this, correct? India, then for example Maharashtra, then we will have Pune, then street, then house number. So we will give usually address like this. This is a country, this is a state, this is a city, this is a street, and this is a house. Correct? This is how we will give our address. So, country, state, and city. For example, consider them as a network, and street and house number are a host. So, in computer words or technical words, subnet mask decides which part is a network, which part is a host. So it tells this part of your address identifies the area where you stay, and this part of the address will identify the house where you actually reside, right? This is a host. So that's how the similar way the subnet mask work in networking. Now let us try to refresh some of our concept of IP address. Okay, so what all are we have understood about IP address? So IPv4 address we use mostly, which is of 32 bits. Each bit will be 0 or 1, and IPv4 address mentioned in 4 octets. Each octet is of 8 bits. So this is the important information which we understood by this time. Now what is subnet mask with respect to IP, right? So subnet mask is also a 32 bit, just like IP. Just like IP. Subnet mask example can be 255.255.255. And in binary, if we want to see, then binary representation is very easy for subnet mask, right? It's 111 ones, then 11. So this is how your subnet mask looks like. So here one important thing to understand is all ones represent your network bit and all zeros represent host bit. So if we write the IP with respect to /24, what does this means is first 24 bits are network bits and last 8 bits are host. So if you take the IP address like this. So in this IP address 192.168.1.10, its subnet mask will be this one, correct? So if you want to represent it in binary, then similar will go like same thing is represented in binary. Now if you have a IP address and if you have a mask available, then how to figure it out the network? So there is a way, and that way your system uses to figure it out the network. So what it does is it does IP and mask. It performs the AND operation between IP and mask, and it will arrive at your network address. So if you see, if you perform the AND operation, the result will come something like this. So AND operation is simple. Only one is 1, 100, 010, 000. It's a very simple AND operation, okay? I will not explain it here, but if you AND this, right, so you will get the result like this, and this is exactly your network address. So it will be this one. This is your network address which we arrive by doing AND. So this is how the device finds its own network, in which network it is there. So simple question is, who will give the subnet mask? So this one we have understood before also, but let me repeat it so that the session will be comprehensive. As soon as the user access the system, it sends a DHCP discover request to router. Then as a part of this request, router will respond with IP address and with subnet mask. It also return a default gateway for your information, but subnet mask we get it from router. Understand this. So having said all this, now how device actually uses the subnet mask. So every device asks two critical questions. As soon as user hits something, right? Every device asks two critical questions. Those are: is the destination IP is in my network? Is the destination IP is present in my network? Is it a part of my private network? Okay. If yes, then send directly to that device. So how it will send? It will use ARP and MAC address, right? So destination device ARP, address resolution protocol, it will send a request, ARP request, get the MAC address of the destination device and send directly. And if no, then it will send it to the router, right? Default gateway. That's how it happens. So first question which your device asks is destination IP is in my network? What range of IPs belongs to my network? So both these questions will be answers with the help of subnet mask. Now subnet mask defines three very important IPs, which are, let's take the example of IP address 192.168.1.10/24. This is our IP. Now first, it defines its network address, correct? If it is with 24, then it will tell the first three numbers are my network. So 192.168.1.0 is a network address. This is a very important thing given by our subnet. Help us to identify. So it's a very first address in your network, and which itself identifies as a network, and this address cannot be given to any device. The next address which we can interpret, or the device or router interpret, is 192.168.1.255. This is the broadcast address. We have seen this. So if you want to send message to all the devices at once, right, then you need to use this address. So this address also we will interpret with the help of subnet mask. And third thing which it will tell is host range, usable host range. So how many hosts we have available, means how many devices which we can actually plug in into our network. So it will come 192.168.1.1 to 192.168.1.254. Now why not 255? Because it is already a broadcast address. Why not 1.0? Because it is already taken as a network address. So only available range which we have for the devices is this one. Now very simple formula to compute how many hosts is here, which goes like this. So in IP address, bitwise IP address, right? We have understood that each octet uses a bit weight, right? So 1 1 1 1 1 1 1. For example, this is one octet. So if you want to convert it to decimal, it will go 2 raised to 0, 1, 2, 4, 8, 16, 32, 64, and 128, right? 2 raised to power 0, 2 raised to power 1, 2 raised to power 2, 2 raised to power 3, 2 raised to power 4, 2 raised to power 5, 6, and 7. So this way. So if you want to identify how many devices, then just do 2 raised to power how many octet. So here, if you are getting a IP address, for example, x dot x dot x dot x slash 24. So whatever are the host bit, right? So first 24 bits are fixed, host bits are this one, so it's a 1 octet, so 8 bits, right? So 2 raised to the power 8, it will come, these are actually a host bits, okay? Always put a host bits here. Then 2 raised to power 8 comes as 256 minus 2, because one address will be network address and other address will be a broadcast address. So altogether you will have 254. So that is how you will figure it out. So 2 raised to power host bits you do minus 2 you do. This is the number of hosts you can put it in that network. To give you rough ideas how many hosts possible as per our IP address, right? So if you go with CIDR of 8, means only first 8 bit are constant, then there are a possibility of 16 million devices. If it's slash 16, then 65k devices can be there. Slash 24, which current example which we saw, 254 host you can put. Slash 30 is a 2 host and slash 32 is 1 host. Now it is somewhat interesting to understand. If somebody is putting slash 32, means all 4 bits, right? All 4 numbers in the IP address are constant. Means what does it tell? It tells you the exact device. That is the exact device. That is the exact server, you can say. That is the exact IP address of that device. Okay, that's why you can see it's 1. That identifies the exact device. Now why do we have these many variations? Obvious question, right? Now the answer for this is not all networks need these many devices, right? If you are at home, do you have 254 devices? Possibly you can, but no, right? As of now, no. But still we will be given this range of slash 24 so that you can maximize tomorrow. If you want to have this many devices, there is a provision. But do we have 16 million devices? No. But the top companies which are there might have 16 million devices. So to use the IP addresses wisely, the CIDR is introduced. Better IP utilization is the goal here. Now one very important concept in subnet mask and routing. This is the concept which I want to cover so that you will have end-to-end knowledge. Subnet mask and routing. So what happens is, as soon as you request for any IP, destination IP or any other website, so end request will goes to router. Router will look at its routing table. It will find the best match and it's a more specific match. It will find it and forward that packet to that hop, right? Based on the IP address which is got. The rule which it actually uses is LPM, that is the longest prefix match. This rule is very important here. Now consider your routing table. This is your routing table. Now you are requesting for destination IP, this one. This is your destination IP. Now which route will be chosen? Right? That is a question which we will try to understand. So the matching will be carried out step by step. So the routing table, if you see, has these things. So first is your LAN network. All the devices which are there in your LAN will be maintained. So LAN, then core router IP address also it has. okay, and your ISP. So what happens is, as soon as the destination IP address comes, right, so it will try to match the bitwise. Now if you see, right, you can carry out the bitwise conversion and do the matching, okay, where it match exactly. But one thing which you can easily say by looking at the decimal is 192.168.1, right? Majority of the part of this IP matches with 192.168.1.0/24. This is a highest match. Then if you come to the second IP, right, 192.168, this is also matches with the second IP, 192.168 matches. And if you see, right, 192.168.1.50 can be also match with 0.0.0.0. 0.0.0.0 is a anything. It denotes anyone's IP. So this is also anyone's IP, right? So it also matches. So if you see, right, the the first IP which is with /24 is a most specific match. Means most of the part of that IP matches with our destination IP. /16 IP is like a less specific match. Means only first two digit match, and /0 IP is the least specific match here. It doesn't match with that, but it can be also fallen into this. If the first two doesn't fall or doesn't match, right, then it will obviously go to this ISP1 IP. So the first 24-bit match, so the request mean to be within the local network. So that's how your routers figure it out. So /24 means it's the exact local area network. The destination device lies in your network and the packet means to be for that device. Right? It's similar like, for example, if you give your address like this, right? Flat 23, Building A, MG Road, Bangalore, India. Right? If most of the part will match, then it's a more specific address. Right? So similar concept holds good here. So this is how the routing works. Okay. This principle is a longest prefix match. So wherever the longest prefix match, that is the destination device and it lies in that network. So this is what I wanted to cover about the subnet mask. It's a simple session. I hope you would have understood some good concepts, got good knowledge from this session. If you like this video, do share, subscribe and tell your friends about my channel.